Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. So today is the day when we are finally meeting Shakespeare. So Shakespeare जो है उसके बारे में हम डिटेल इंटरव्यू भी करेंगे, उनसे उनसे बात भी करेंगे और हम उसमें डिस्कस करेंगे कि शेक्सपियर की लाइफ क्या थी, कुछ कंफ्यूजन्स जो हमारे माइंड में थी। लेकिन इससे पहले हम थोड़ा जान लें विलियम शेक्सपियर के हवाले से। So William Shakespeare, he was born on 23rd of April 1564, बड़ी important date है। Marlowe and Shakespeare, they were born in the same year. What makes Shakespeare important and different? क्योंकि शेक्सपियर ने एक ऐसी एज की बुनियाद रखी, लाइक द एज वाज नोन एज द एज ऑफ शेक्सपियर, कि इनके 400 साल बाद भी, शेक्सपियर के जाने के 400 साल बाद भी इनके ड्रामास को देखा गया, इसके ड्रामास को पढ़ा गया। फर्दर ऑन, अब वो जो टाइम था वो टाइम इसलिए इंपॉर्टेंट था या इसके ड्रामाज इसलिए पॉपुलर हुए कि जो शेक्सपियर की जो लाइक जो सब्जेक्ट्स है जिनके बारे में वो लिख रहा था, दे वर वेरी कॉमन एंड दे वर वेरी लाइक यूनिवर्सल काइंड ऑफ कैरेक्टर्स जिनको हम आज की दुनिया में भी देखते हैं। सो दिस मेक्स शेक्सपियर्स वर्क यूनिवर्सल और इसी वजह से शेक्सपियर की जो फेम थी वो बहुत ज्यादा फैली। फिर शेक्सपियर अपने टाइम के फौरन बाद इतना मशहूर नहीं हुआ। यस, ही वॉज अ गुड ड्रामाटिस्ट, ही वॉज अ गुड एक्टर एज वेल, लेकिन ये बायोग्राफीज का सिलसिला प्यूरिटन एज और उसके बाद स्टार्ट हुआ जब यानी बायोग्राफीज का सिलसिला लिखा गया, ऑटोबायोग्राफीज लिखी गई। उस जमाने में लोगों ने, यानी शेक्सपियर की तकरीबन 100 साल बाद उनको पता लगा कि ये कितना एक ग्रेटेस्ट ड्रामाटिस्ट था शेक्सपियर, तो उसके बाद उसकी फेम में कंसिडरेबल एडिशन हुआ। सो शेक्सपियर का जो बाप था वो एक ग्लव मेकर था, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट किस्म का, बड़ा अच्छा मर्चेंट था, सक्सेसफुल मर्चेंट था। और उसकी मदर मैरी आर्डन, शी वाज हाउस वाइफ। इसके और भी सिबलिंग्स थे। और शेक्सपियर की एजुकेशन, वो हम शेक्सपियर से ही पूछेंगे कि उनकी एजुकेशन का करियर कैसा रहा। लोग कहते हैं कि ही डिड नॉट गो टू एनी यूनिवर्सिटी और एनी कॉलेज। सो हम इसमें देखते हैं कि जो शेक्सपियर है वो स्टेज पे कैसे आए, स्टेज को उन्होंने किस तरह कॉन्कर किया, किस तरह वो एक बहुत बड़े एक ड्रामाटिस्ट बने कि एज को उनके नाम से याद किया जाता है। तो चले आए मिलते हैं शेक्सपियर।
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether this nobler in mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by facing end them, to die, to sleep no more. वैसे लख दी लानत है एडी गर्मी तुसी मैनू इन्ना सूट पवा के बिठा देता है। मुझसे पहले तुम लोगों ने चौसर को बुला लिया। Was I not the rightful here to come here and to talk to you, you thou wretched, ignorant, ignoble slave of a school fellow? What do you think I am? I am Shakespeare. And what is this attitude? No manners, no salam, no dua, Shakespeare and Shakespeare. Look, what do you want to get out of me? I'm the king of theater, and you had to give me some respect. Mind it.
सर, आई एम रियली वेरी सॉरी। आप मेरे प्रोग्राम में थे, मैं भूल ही गया कि मैं आपको सलाम करता हूँ। लेकिन हेलो सर शेक्सपियर, हाउ आर यू?
Next question.
Okay, Mr. Shakespeare. So people would love to know that what is your qualification? Like we have heard you never attended any school. So what would you comment on it?
Well, I don't know why are you people against or after my education. Like, since if I got this fame, then all of you, including those university wits, you'll be keep asking about what I did and where did I study. I don't think that is justified. I studied in the Evans School, and that was a local Cambridge school, the grammar school basically.
Let us talk about a theater now. So how would you describe a theater of your time?
Well, as far as a theater is concerned, in those days, theaters were quite rare. And I started working for Lord Chamberlain's Man. So Lord Chamberlain's Man was the place where I used to work. and not only me, there are certain other people who were working along me. So we were all writing for that. And after the death of Elizabeth I, it came James I, and he was the ruler. And he took all the things under his custody, and he called that Lord Chamberlain's man's theatre the King's Man. So there we and some like I and some other people, we developed the Globe. So it was dominant theater of its time, and we produced so many plays. And in those days there was a hierarchy of people. Like there were companies, they had managers, and managers had actors, and actors were not permanently working with one theater. So they kept changing, they kept going from one theater to another. So in those days, we had theaters of wooden structures where people could play, people could walk, and they could bring some edibles inside. They could entertain themselves. Theaters in my days, they were established outside the city wall because the government would not permit to establish theaters inside, though Elizabeth liked it. So outside the city walls, there were issues of prostitution and also theft or robbery. So it was kind of risky as well.
Okay, that is marvelous, and it was a greater change if we compare your theater with the Greek theater or theater of morality and mystery plays. So it was a big achievement on your part. So hats off. My next question is that your drama career is divided into three different like subsections. कि तीन मुख्तलिफ मरहलों में आपने लिखा. So would you like to tell about those things कि वो कौन कौन सा time था and which was the most successful time for you?
Well, in those days, I started writing, and I started my career by writing small dramas, and then, it was the head start of my work. I wrote comedies, and then I went towards writing fragile comedies. And around the third phase of my writing career, so that included the time when I wrote Julius Caesar, when I wrote Hamlet, when I wrote Shakespeare, when I wrote Othello, Macbeth. So these were very particular tragedies. And even in those times, I was not only writing tragedies, but also I was working on sonnets. So my 154 sonnets, they were also written in this time.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, I believe कि जो आपके ड्रामास का सेगमेंट वो टाइम जिसमें आपने ओथेलो मैकबेथ लेयर ये जो अपनी ट्रेजेडीज लिखी ये सबसे बेहतरीन टाइम था और दुनिया आज तक इनकी वजह से आपको याद करती है. ओके, माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज कि एक सीरीज थी आपकी सोनेट्स की जो कि आपने इसी टाइम में लिखी जब आपके शोरा आफाक ड्रामास किंग लेयर ओथेलो मैकबेथ वगैरह लिखे जा रहे थे, हेमलेट वगैरह. सो इसी टाइम में जो आपकी 154 सोनेट्स थी वो किसको एड्रेस थी? बेसिकली कहा जाता है कि वो WH नामी किसी शख्स के साथ थी. खातून थी कोई?
Well, I can guess you must be thinking that it is some girl that I was involved in a romantic relationship. But no, that was about Willie and Thomas. So people attribute these to my some unknown or mysterious kind of beloveds, but it is not the case.
ओके, ऑल राइट, आई गॉट इट. उनसे यानी उनको पहले भी आपने कुछ डेडिकेट किया था, कोई एक और वर्क आपका उनकी डेडिकेशन में था. ओके जी, चलें, ये भी एक मिस्ट्री सॉल्व हुई. ओके, एक और सवाल जो आपको शायद अनॉय करे. आपको अप स्टार्ट क्रो कहा ग्रीन ने, रॉबर्ट ग्रीन ने, तो इस पे आप क्या कहेंगे?
ਉਹ ਸੜਦਨ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਅੱਲਾ ਕਰੇ ਮਰ ਜਾਣ ਪਾਣੀ ਨਾ ਨਸੀਬ ਹੋਏ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੱਖ ਦੇ ਨਾ ਰਹਿਣ ਅੱਲਾ ਕਰੇ ਬੇੜਾ ਗਰਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ. Well, I was the person, like, now you have named the term upstart crow. So yes, it was a derogatory term used by Robert Greene for me. And I always was the supreme dramatist, and since I did not have proper schooling, I did not have proper formal university education or college education. So those people from Cambridge, they would call me upstart crow because they could not digest my that success, that why did people come to my dramas and why were my dramas successful? You've already said yourself, my dramas were successful because they were near to the people. They were very close to the common people.
Shakespeare Sahab, please be patient. They are already dead. But we would like to know something else. Okay, there's another confusion about your plays. Some say that your plays are divided into like certain categories, but they are 37 in number, and sometimes we have a popular figure of 38. So, could you confirm it, please?
Well, my total plays, they are 37.
All right.
Wait, 38.
What?
No, no, 37.
What? Sorry?
1 minute.
Now what?
Oh, yes, 37, I'm sure.
Okay, Mr. Shakespeare. So, would you like to tell us about your heroes, especially about King Lear, about Hamlet, about Macbeth, and about Othello?
Well, if you talk about my tragic heroes, I worked on so many characters. I worked on Othello, who had a tragic flaw of jealousy. I made King Lear, who suffered from his error of judgment. I made Macbeth, who was ambitious person. I made Hamlet, who was all the time thinking and delaying or pending the things. So all these my tragic heroes, they come right from the public, and they're very much different from those Greek tragic heroes. They're very common to the people. Like my tragic heroes are very near to the people.
Okay. Uh, so would you please tell us that how did theater change from Greek to present? Like, what were those things? What were those traditions in Greek tragedy, which were changed from Greek times and till present or Elizabethan times in which you are living?
There were so many changes. For example, I did not follow unity, especially of unity of place, unity of time. I didn't follow that. Moreover, if you talk about the stage, then in Greek tragedies, the tragedy was always behind the stage, like any massacre, any killing that was done behind the stage, backside. But what I did, I made it on the stage so that people could see, people could know that how a person is killed. And then afterwards, which was again missing in Greek tragedy, that I brought comic relief in that. That soon after tragedy, I gave some joker scene, some poter scene, some clown scene to release the effect of tragedy from people, so that they must not be suffering from those effects that, like the tragic murder or some killing. So it may not affect their mind. If it may not affect their viewership. So those clowns, those jesters, jokers, poters, so they were also created by me to bring the comedy on the stage to lessen the effect of those tragic effects.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. It is also said that your play within a play and your plot that is revenge tragedy that is inspired by the Spanish tragedy of Thomas Kyd. Is that so?
Yes, Thomas Kyd. He was a good kid. So from Thomas Kyd, I know that I took two things. Definitely, it was not money which I borrowed from him. Definitely, I got the idea of plot within a plot, like play within a play, and also the like revenge tragedy that was borrowed from him. So Spanish tragedy was great tragedy, and it gave me two conceptions like plot within a plot and also revenge tragedy, and I employed both of them in Hamlet. So you see, Mousetrap is a play within Hamlet, and Hamlet is taking revenge for his father, so it makes it a revenge tragedy. Yes.
Okay. Why is it said no Marlowe, no Shakespeare?
यार इतना वो थोड़ा फूफी दा पुत्र है ना मार लो उन्हों बुला लो मैं लिख लिख मर गया 36 प्ले 37 प्ले 38 प्ले जितने भी लिखे 154 सोनट लिख देतियां नो मॉलो नो शेक्सपियर यानी ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੂਈ ਇੱਕੋ ਜਾਤੇ ਅਟਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜੇ ਚੰਗਾ ਤੇ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ ਯਾਰ ਉਹਦੀ like you people are always denouncing me undermining me wasn't I that capable haven't you read my plays Can't you see the perfection of the elements in that, the language that I have played with? There's so many words that I have coined, so many sentences are there which I have coined. My quotations are there in market. And you people say no Molo, no Shakespeare. खुदा दा वास्ता यार.
Mr. Shakespeare, you're really very aggressive person today. I guess, isn't it because you have landed directly from London to Pakistan? Is that so? Okay. And my next question from you is that sometimes it is said that whatever you wrote was not written by you. It was actually written by someone named Mary Sidney Herbert, who was a countess, and also some say that it was some person named Edward de Vere, and some also say that it was written by Francis Bacon, and some also say that it was all written by Marlowe और आपने सिर्फ उसको यानी like आपका नाम चल गया. So any like question or answers about this?
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਜਾਂ ਬਾਕੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲੋਂ? All the time you're saying Shakespeare was ignorant, Shakespeare borrowed things, Shakespeare, like no Marlowe, no Shakespeare, and there was no real Shakespeare. Like, what do you want to know from me? Like, you could call those people for interview, and if you call me, then listen to me what I am saying. और दूसरी गल पता की है, इज्जत देनी होती है खुदा दी ज़ात ने. So if God has given me that name, the fame, then I guess it is wrong to misjudge me and my capabilities. I wrote the plays myself. Any person who is famous is he goes or he undergoes criticism. So whatever I wrote for myself. I wrote it for my people, and I wrote it myself. There was no one else to write it for me. And for your kind information, I was not rich enough to pay someone to write for me. And in those days, there was no one good enough to write for anyone. So it was only me who was writing my plays, my sonnets, and they were all like for public in order that they may be performed and they may be shown on the stage, they may be read in play. So, like, these are all the things which are written by this, like, Khadme Allah, like this person sitting in front of you, Mr. Shakespeare.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Shakespeare. It was really very nice having you with us. It was really very jolly meeting, though you were in anger, but still, yes, we loved having you here. Uh, Literature does not begin without you, so we are very thankful that you gave us time. So it was really an honor to meet you.